everyone, and welcome to another episode of Badminton Weekly. I'm your host, Moshe Midat, and today we'll be recapping all the action from the last stop of the European leg, the Orleans Masters. We'll also be putting the spotlight on the standout performers from the last month or so, and to accompany us through it all, I'm happy to welcome back Scotland's number one, Kirsty Gilmour. Thank you so much for joining us again, Kirsty.
Happy to be here, Mosh. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's dive straight into it then. Carolina Marin made her debut in Orleans, fresh from her semi-final exit in Madrid, and where many thought she would walk away with that title. But with that in mind, how important was it for Marin to come back stronger here and get a step further, especially with an easier draw this time around?
Yeah, I think it's been a really solid week for Carolina. I know that she's put out on social media, she's kind of unfortunately struggled with the death of her family dog. Which is difficult. She was quite open and honest about that. But hey, she's come back fighting as she always does. And yeah, I think the fact that this was a Tour 300 event has meant that she was up against some good opponents this week. No top 10 players in the draw for her, but she put in some really good performances. Had a little tight one in the final against Zhang, but I think it's been a good week for Carolina's confidence and momentum and to seal off a title, which she hasn't done for a while.
Like you said, Marin was pushed to a third in the finals against Zhang, but she managed to see off the American for that first title of the year. Now, what do you make of that final? Was it a reminder that she's still one of the top contenders in the discipline?
I think Carolina quite often has kind of ups and downs to her game. I think because she's all in all of the time, it can be quite risky, and if she's not getting it perfect, then she's gonna drop those points. But with Carolina, you always know she's capable of getting it back, and she never gives up. She never kind of like, well, this is over, and just calls it quits. You always know she's gonna stick at it. And we saw that in the third set, where she just came roaring back and was quite decisive in that third set against Zhang. Right at this moment, she's not back to her domination like she was in kind of 2017, 2018. But I've seen her training, I've trained with her. She is meticulous and she 100% wants to be back there, and I think she's inching closer with every tournament. So I think she could probably do it. Yeah, I think this will go a long way for her confidence. If she can get a 300 under her belt, then she'll go and look at the 500, 750, 1000 events, and to have that confidence against top 10 players, I think this is a big stepping stone for her.
Well, yeah, I felt as you say, I think I did many mistakes in the whole game, but sometimes I didn't want to get frustrated with myself with this unforced error, because that means I give many easy points for her. I just try to keep calm with myself, try to keep the focus, try to give my best on court. I think she played really good today. Also, we talked when we finished again that the shuttle was a bit slow today than the rest of the week. Actually, yeah, I think it was a good game. I'm happy with my performance this week, so I'm looking forward for my holidays now, next week. And of course, later I will come back and I will try to keep improving myself and my game.
If you're a Carolina Marin fan, it's definitely nice to see her at the top of the podium again. Meanwhile, the men's singles category continues to be an unpredictable one, with none of the top seeds advancing past the second round in Orleans. Now, India's Priyanshu Rajawat made waves though when he defeated top seed Kenta Nishimoto in the last 16, and then went on to cruise past Nat Nguyen in the semi-finals. What do you make of the 21-year-old's potential, Kirsty?
I think this has been an incredible run for Rajawat. To be ranked 58 in the world and to just come and win a 300 tournament, that's amazing and absolute credit to him. And the fact that there was 8 unseeded players in the quarterfinals, almost unheard of. And also to be 9-love up in a set, the first set against Nishimoto, I think he was 9-love up. That just kind of shows the consistency that he was bringing to the court this whole week. He's been fairly consistent. I think that's one of the things I really noticed. He didn't come in and overwhelm anyone with speed or power or aggression. it was like his calmness and his execution of things and his shot placement rather than, overwhelming people. So I think one of the big things for me, his rear court shots are really nice and really well placed. But for me, it was his execution and his awareness at the net, and he really capitalised on the space that he had there. He was either going fast and simple early net, or he had really nice holds and pushed up the line. Absolute credit to him, and I think this could be, again, a really good confidence boost for him going forward.
So Rajawat faced another 21-year-old, Denmark's Magnus Johannesson, in the final. Both were playing for their maiden career title, and that must have weighed heavily at the back of their minds. But in the end, like you said, Rajawat just managed to keep his emotions in check and remain level-headed throughout to win that showdown, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I play Danish League with Magnus. He's a really, really nice guy and really, really hungry for titles like this. And absolute credit to him as well. He's put in so much work this week, and I think he also really deserved that title. And it was a really, really great fight in the final from both players. And I think it's quite rare to have I think both players would have been going on court as thinking they were the underdog. There was not a massive imbalance of this person should win, this person's not likely to win. There wasn't that kind of seesaw. They went in very level. They both put in really good performances throughout the whole week, and it was just going to be who's going to play the best badminton in this hour. And Rajawat just sneaked it at the end, but I think it was a really great final from both of them. I think neither player is a huge guy. Neither is going to overwhelm the other one with power and putting the shuttle on the floor. I think both of them, Magnus is so good at covering the court and neutralising shots. He's got a good attack too, but it's really his work ethic and his counter game that I've noticed playing club with him. So in terms of them fighting out against each other in the final, it really came down to who was able to play that game of chess and pull the other one out of position in order to open up that space rather than just going up in a smash-kill game. So I think Rajawat just had it in the final there, and I think that was testament to his net control. Like I say, he's got some nice overhead shots, but it was really that that space making at the net that created the wins for him.
I'm very happy. I didn't think I could win, but I played my best today, so I win. I'm very happy, and my coaches are also happy. Today's match very tired. After second game, third game, my legs are not moving. Told me just keep the shuttle inside the court. He will give the points and all.
I learned especially that I can keep up with the good players here in the Super 300 tournaments. I believed a bit more in myself after these 2 weeks. That I will take that with me.
Rajawat and Johannesson are definitely ones to keep an eye out for the future, but there's one player who's already established himself as a star following that standout performance at the All England, and that's Shi Feng. The 23-year-old surprised so many when he blitzed past Shi in the final. So were you as surprised too, Kirsty? Because considering that it was Li's debut and also that she had a lot more experience on the big stage.
No one really expected the final to go that way. It was an underdog story. Shiyuki's the experienced player, been around for a few years, has won the title before. And here comes Shi Feng, just first time. And I think actually that maybe helped him. There was just that not naivety, but that he doesn't have much to lose. All he can do is win, being the underdog. So I thought it was incredible. I thought he kept such a calm head, because it's so easy to let a moment like that overwhelm you. But the fact that he just stood up tall and was like, right, let's see what we can do. And he played an incredible game in the final. An absolute credit to him that he had an incredible week.
All right, and if you look further back, Li had an intense semi-final against Anders Antonsen that went on for over 90 minutes. After the match, the Dane said he'd never met a better player. What here do you think is Li's biggest weapon? What do you like more about his playing style?
I think it's quite evident in Li's playing style that Lin Dan has been a massive influence on him. I know he said in interviews that, Lin Dan's the reason Shi Feng is playing badminton. So I think that's quite noticeable in his movement and his approach to the game. It's just that smooth movement. There's no panic to it, and I think that was quite key, especially in the final against Shi Yuki. It was his ability to be pulled out of position, play a shot under pressure, but recover. Be flustered or panicked about it, and it was just that kind of calmness throughout the whole game, despite having had a 95-minute match with Anders the night before. That was just so impressive to see, and I think that was that you can see that he's taken a lot of that from Lin Dan, I think.
Like you said, Li did make it known that his idol growing up was Lin Dan. With how he's been performing recently, do you think he can revive China's dominance in the men's singles discipline, just like his idol Lin Dan?
I mean, it very well could be the start of a resurgence of Chinese dominance. I mean, they have 5 players in the top 30 of the men's singles right now. Saying that, they've only got one, Shi Yuki, in the top 10, and he is number 10. So this All England title for China, it could be the start of something going forward. But from the tour tournaments that we've had so far in the year, we've had every single tournament has been a different winner, apart from 2 Japan titles for Japan. So that's incredible. The strength and the depth of men's singles right now is incredible. So I wouldn't say China are currently dominant, but this All England title really could be something for those 5 Chinese men's singles players to look at and really kind of pull their socks up for, and to know that it's possible that China can seal these titles off again.
With how it's all placed in the men's singles category, it certainly seems like anything's possible for Shi Feng and the Chinese contingent. Now, that aside, is there anyone else you think that deserves a mention as a standout player in this European leg, Kirsty?
I think we can't not touch on An Se-young, just what she's doing right now. I mean, that she's never failed to reach a final in the tournaments that she's played this year, which is ridiculous. What a stat. And it's not as if she's had easy draws. She's beaten everyone on the way. And for her to only be 20 years old, it kind of hurts me, but it's incredible to watch at the same time. And I feel like I can really speak on this because, I've been in the top 30 of women's singles for 8-10 years, and it's never been harder than it is right now. This is definitely the hardest iteration and the most physical iteration of women's singles that I've ever been a part of. So I think An Se-young is pretty special right now. She's so calm and smooth, and you never think you have her in trouble. So you're not getting the correct feedback from your shots. You think you've played an incredible, perfect shot, and it just comes back with ease, which makes you think that you need to play it even more perfectly. So it's not that she's going up and again like hitting winner after winner after winner. She's just slowly bleeding you dry of any kind of feedback that you should be getting. It's almost like playing 2 against 1. An Se-young makes you feel like you're playing against 2 people. There we go, I'll say that.
Well, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much, Kirsty, for making the time to join us again today and for all your wonderful insights.
Thanks for having me, Mosh. It's been great.
We'll definitely see more of Kirsty in the future, but for now, it's time to say goodbye. You can continue to stay up to date with the latest in the badminton world through the BWF Badminton app, Badminton for You. And as always, don't forget to leave your comments, thoughts, and questions on our Facebook and YouTube page. Till next week, take care. Bye-bye.